Hello and welcome to creatingforgrace.com. Today we're going to make this Bunch of Blossoms cute fish card. We're going to use the Bunch of Blossoms stamp set, and I've pre-stamped some images. What I used is this particular petal here for the body, and I did hand cut 2 of those. We have a coordinating punch right here, and hopefully that shows up well. So this I used to cut the fins with the bigger punch and the smaller flower petal. So I've pre-stamped 2 of these right here, which makes the back fins, and I've pre-stamped 4 of these, which make the side fins. Then we are also going to have this, which does the bottom portion, which is kind of coral looking. So the colors that we're going to use today are Pumpkin Pie and Emerald Envy. And the sentiment that we're going to use is this one right here, Let's Celebrate Your Day. Set the stamp set aside. The Very Vanilla ribbon we used, I'm using from the Occasions catalog, but obviously any ribbon will do. And then we had some Designer Series paper, also in Emerald Envy, that I used for the background, but again, anything that you use for the background would work just fine. And I had some googly eyes that we had from a Stampin' Up! Halloween set a couple of years ago. So I had some left, and I'm going to use those for the fish eyes just for some fun. So I'm going to set that aside, and let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is put our fish together. And like I said, I pre-stamped some of those. So we're going to take the punch. And I always look at the direction that our punch is going to be going in to make it a little easier to punch those out. So rather than having them go this way and having the flower cut through the ones I stamped above, it makes it a little easier to do it this way, and I'm not wasting any paper or punching out anything that I've already stamped. I'm going to set that aside along with our 4 finished fins. End up with a little pile of garbage here. And I've stamped 2 of the big back fins. I'm going to put that right there. And if we go in from the other direction, we will line up just fine. Set that aside. So we're done with the punch. Get rid of my garbage here. So I did a 3.5 inch from side to side, and then this direction is actually done at 4 3/4, and this is the layer that we're going to be stamping on. The base is an A2 card size, and then the inside is 4 inches by 5 1/4. So when you layer it together, it's going to be just like this. So we're going to do our stamping on our base. The first part of stamping on the base is actually going to be with the coral on the bottom. So I had used this previously, so I'm going to get some of my Pumpkin Pie off. And this is going to just take a little bit of stamping off. So I'm going to ink this up, and I'm going to stamp, and then I'm going to stamp again above it, which is going to give me that lighter color. And stamp, and again above it. So that's going to give us our coral along the bottom. And then we've got some little bubbles coming up, which I just had the little dots from the set I'm going to do, but what we need to do first is place our fish on there. So the stamping on there is done. We're going to do our sentiment, because we know where that's going to go. And I always say do a test on scratch paper to see how your stamp is falling. If you have a place that maybe you need to not angle it towards because of the way the ink is. Got the sentiment done. I've pre-cut some ribbon. I did one at 4 inches and one at 3 inches. And the 4 inch is going to wrap around the bottom. So what I'm going to do is I am actually going to add adhesive all the way around the outside. I like to do this anytime I'm adding the ribbon. It gets it done, and I actually put the ribbon right along the very bottom. And then I'm going to add a little bit of adhesive right up on top of where that ribbon was. And center that right on there. I'm going to tie this into a knot. It's just a matter of playing with it and making your ends pretty. We're going to take some glue dots, which I have set aside, and attach it to the back of the knot. And add it right to the card here. So we're going to assemble our fish. The easiest way to do that is to add a little bit of adhesive to the back of the fish. This is our snail adhesive from Stampin'Up. And these are the body that I said that I had pre-cut. And if you look at the sample that we have of our little fishies, you can see our main body is going to have a little fin. Coming from this direction. Give the little fins some curve. His tail attach just like that. Again, giving it a little bit of a curl for some motion. And then the top one you can see is attached right directly to the top. So I'm going to add just a touch of adhesive right there. And then have him curve up just like that. We're going to do the same thing for the other side, the other fishy. Again, tiny bit of adhesive just on the top. A little bit of a curve to the fins. And that's our two finished fish. And what I did is I add some dimensionals underneath to give him some poppy upness. Yes, that's a technical term. Not really. So just looking at the card, I'm going to decide where I want my fish to be swimming. The Stampin' Up! Dimensionals, and I often do cut them in half because we frequently have smaller pieces that we have them attached to. So I want some versatility with those. I'm going to take the eyes, and they already had adhesive on them from the backing. So I just like to use a little pair of paper snips to pick those up. And I do the same thing with rhinestones and pearls. I find it really helps. This is where we want to add the little bubbles. So again, with the Emerald Envy, I'm going to grab our foam mat. Anytime that we're doing something that's the totally see-through stamp on photopolymer, I like to use a foam mat underneath. I think I get a better stamped image that way. I'm just trying to space these out a bit. There's our bubbles for the water. And the final thing I'm going to do is add some adhesive around the very base of the card. And this is an A2 size finished card base on Very Vanilla. It is cut at 8.5 by 5.5 and then scored at 4 1/4. And that frames that nicely. So there's actually our finished card, and if you flip it over, I always tell people don't forget to make your envelopes pretty. So really important to do. We're going to do that right now. It just gives that finished touch. So we had some of the Emerald Envy that we used for the seaweed earlier. I'm going to stamp that off totally, and I'm going to add a little bit to the top so it's very pale, and then we're going to use a full amount right at the very base. And then we're going to stamp a full fish. So basically, we're going to stamp off the Emerald Envy that we used. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to shake you. I'm using a new camera from my phone, so my holder is new and it's in a new place and I haven't gotten used to it yet. So I will try not to make it an earthquake up there. But I wanted to clean off the fin so that we can do the very back fin. Pumpkin pie. We need to take the Emerald Envy off. And then we do the body of our fish. And then we have our side fins. It's going to go back. A little bit down. And then since it's on the outside of the envelope, what I did is I took one of our Stampin' Write markers in black and I drew a little eye for the fish. So that's it. It's our finished card. I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial and are having fun making the project. That's it. And if you have any questions, go by my blog. It's creatingforgrace.com. Thanks so much and have an amazing day.